Welcome back. That sound, you're listening to AM Ocala Live, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, broadcasting to you live from the Panic Mall. We are streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, the Source Radio. And sound means with Tuesday, we're in the garden with Carol Ann Baldwin in the studio. Good morning, girl. How you doing?
Good morning. Real good.
Yeah, not too bad. Boy, I tell you, last week, I'm just going to bring up some weather here.
Yeah.
Last week, boy, were we lucky to wake up with 73, 72.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, there was some humidity. 80 degrees this morning before 7:15. My goodness.
Yes, yeah. Yesterday was a hot one.
Yesterday
was a hot one. It was.
Yes,
I know
it
at one point
was.
yesterday, and I mean, usually I get through the day and it's not that bad. I mean, I work outside. There was a breeze.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
where I was working at work, there was no air movement. So when my phone said it was 94 degrees with a 108.
Heat index, that's right.
Yeah, I felt every bit of it.
That's right. Yeah, it was something else. Now this morning there was still a little bit of a breeze blowing, but man, it was like we said, it was already 80 degrees before
Right. Yes,
7:15, and then the humidity that's in there. However, the forecast for the rest of today into tomorrow only leads us to about a 20 to 30% chance.
Yeah.
And we were discussing. I wonder if that's a little bit of just the old tropical storm Laura, which has now become Hurricane Laura.
Right.
Dragging some of that moisture a little bit out of the atmosphere towards it.
Right.
As it spins counterclockwise, inward and upward, that low pressure system, as it's going to become a stronger hurricane. It's hurricane status right now, as that just changed within the last hour, I believe.
And I think they're predicting a 3 at
they say
landfall. And I saw one from the International Space Station.
Yeah.
The overhead photograph. That's a big storm.
It's starting to get more organized
Yeah.
too, and like you said, from the satellite pictures, it's she might be something
she's a
to
big
pay
one.
attention to
Yeah.
the next few days.
One to wrangle.
We were just talking off air that this son of a gun is going to be in the meat and potatoes of the Gulf in Mexico tomorrow in the afternoon. For today as well, as it's going to make its way into it, and it's the
Gulf,
afternoon.
right.
But as
Into open water.
into
warm
open water,
open
and
water.
then all day tomorrow in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico in open water with the afternoon, and that's where the potential comes in. So we'll see what happens.
Thoughts and prayers to those in the impact zone.
Yeah, as they already declared preemptively
states
the
of emergency
for
and,
Louisiana, Texas, and Mississippi. So we'll see what goes on from there. Just glad to see that Marco fizzled out.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that way you're
wasn't.
not.
Yeah.
Did you have double hurricanes on your bingo card for 2020?
You know what? That's
just
what
under,
I was looking. Yeah,
just under murder hornets.
Right, that was right over to the left over there.
Oh man, I got something else to bring up too, because I know a lot of times on the show we talk what it takes to take care of your plants and everything.
Right.
And your vegetable garden is when it comes to pests, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pest control, whether it's the opossum or whether it's even just some of the insects. I wanted to ask you if you had heard of this. I read this yesterday. I'm going to bring it up for the listeners that were listening to the show yesterday. Is that I don't know if you heard this or not, but this article came out last week, and it's just funny to me that they're bringing this out around everything else that we've got going on. But they have genetically engineered mosquitoes that they're looking to
Release
750 million of them to be released in the Keys. And I was going to ask you what you thought of that.
This is something that they did or tried to do.
Yeah.
Last year, a couple of years, in recent history.
Yeah.
In order to the genetic modification makes that they're sterile, but that they're still offering apparently I guess the pheromone, or that they're sterile males, and so they'll still go after the females, though they officially can't breed. They can't reproduce, so you decline the population naturally without chemicals, because everybody has an issue with spraying. I mean, the mosquito foggers of the early 70s, and explains a lot of us.
Deep, baby.
That grew up in that generation. We used to love the mosquito truck, but that it is a. And because it cannot reproduce, it's not as if it's something that's going to be an issue. Male mosquitoes don't bite. It's
Right.
only the females who bite. Their lifespan isn't very long, so it's not like it's
That's true.
something that's going to live for 5 or 6 years. It's not going to reproduce itself because it can't reproduce
Right.
and have a double genetic, so it's
Right.
I don't see a problem with it.
It's Oxitec is the name of the bioengineering company. It's funny to me. I read it yesterday as a
because
little
of
spoof.
all of the
Just
murder
of
hornets
everything
and
we had
everything,
going on, and
yeah.
it was fun. You could definitely see that turned into some blockbuster summer spectacular.
Oh,
I could
sure,
see
sure.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson with with one of those old timey pump with the canister
yeah,
spray,
yeah.
and it'd be like pest control. Did somebody call the Orkin man? But nonetheless, it's
Oxitec is here to take care of it.
Oxitec, and I'm going to play this pick 4 number, by the way. So
okay.
the male mosquito is named OX5034.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to play
okay.
5034 from a pick 4 numbers
There
this
you
week.
go.
See if
There
they
you
hit.
Or OX, you got a 0 and a 5 and a
Yeah.
10 there too.
Yeah,
so you
that's
could
right.
go,
That's
0
right.
1 0. So you can go.
Powerball, baby.
And I'm sure you saw this one yesterday, and probably everybody else did. Guy walks into a bar in New Orleans and asks for 2 hurricanes and a Corona. Bartender says that's 2020.
That's pretty good. I haven't heard that one yet. Oh,
Yeah.
that's pretty good. I like that. I
I
like
did
that.
too. I had to
That'll be-
steal that
that'll
one
be
from a friend.
2020.
Yeah, that'll be 2020, please.
Yeah, I like that. I
It
like
just
that.
sort of fills it all right in.
That's it.
And then somebody today just had one of those ones that go and here's the snowbanks piled 10 feet up on the sides of the roadways going here. This up next for 2020.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Not necessarily here in Florida, but you know what? And only because of all of the weird oddities, it's one of those things
Yeah.
that go and. What's this winter going to be like in Florida? We have not had
Yeah.
a truly cold winter in a few years.
I was gonna ask
And
you
we
that.
have had a very hot summer. I mean, we've been hot since May.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah.
I mean, usually, you'll have like 2 weeks of really hot, maybe early on that's dry, and then boom, it cools back down. And yes, I guess they say that 90 to 92 is average, but we're running the 94, 95s. They're not really tracking anything historical, but it just seems to
Yeah.
me that we have been much hotter than I'm more accustomed to that 91, or that it hits the 92, 93. We get the afternoon shower, temperature drops,
Yeah.
come 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening, you're still only in the lower 80s, and your overnight temperature's running that 72, 74.
Yeah.
And we've been having some mornings where you're waking up to 77, 78 degrees.
Yeah.
And that's before the sun's come up yet. So I'm a little concerned, and it's kind of funny because I'm needing for my store, I need new frost blanket for my tables.
Yeah.
And trying to find out where we get it, kind of thing. And somebody posted going, oh God, it's you're expecting frost. It's hotter than hell there. And I says, well, though here in Central Florida, this is Haiti's second address.
Yeah.
I'm still worried with 2020. Is hell going to freeze over? It's one of those years of who knows what's coming.
If that were to happen, at least then I'd better put my money on the Cleveland Browns, because when they win the Super Bowl, hell will
Hell
freeze
will freeze
over.
over. There you go. There's another bet there on the market. Yeah.
I was we were talking about it in conversation a little bit.
Yeah.
The idea of our forecasted plans for the holidays this Thanksgiving, maybe in
right.
Tennessee, and we were talking about what the weather might be like. And I was going to ask you. I know with your Farmer's Almanac and everything, I was going to say, do you anticipate that maybe not just Florida, but other
Right.
parts of the United States, that we could see maybe even winter starting a little bit earlier and being colder, maybe in November? And do you think it'll be a tough winter for a lot of those states? Up
You know
north?
what?
It was so mild last year.
Yeah,
that-
it was, which was unusual for them, and especially because I think the year before, I want to say it was just the year before, they had I have a cousin who lives up in Erie,
okay.
and he was posting, they were pushing the record snowfall, not last year, but the winter before,
Oh, wow.
that they were, and I believe I don't think they topped their record.
Yeah.
They had 299.75 0.75
By the way,
inches of snow.
Because you're talking Erie, Pennsylvania, right? And just by the way, when you're talking record snow, they already get so much snow a year. Because where they're at with the lake effect between Erie and Buffalo.
300 inches is a lot of snow.
It's a ton. So them actually setting records with it is one thing.
And I mean, that's what they were looking for. They were looking at, I want to say it was not this past winter, not winter of 99 to 2000, but the 98 to 99.
Yeah.
Or not 2020. You know what I mean.
Yep.
You know, 18, 19,
it
19,
is
20.
The 90s.
Yeah, it is, yeah. They said Y2K is still happening.
You heard it here first. Keeping you informed and it'll
that's it. Yeah, just change the calendar. Yeah. Well, it says 18 right here on the calendar over here. No, wait a minute. That's the clock.
Let's just take a second. If we could go back knowing what we know now, if we could go back to 1999
Lord.
knowing what we know now, my goodness.
I'd have bought more toilet paper.
There it is. Yeah, we would have had stock in Charmin. Georgia Pacific, I got you on the Dow.
Yeah, we're good that. Yeah, we're good that. Woo!
S&P 500, Kimberly Clark, I got you.
That and Clorox Company.
Exactly.
We'd have just known it wasn't the computers that we're going to have a problem with.
On my Ferrari, the license plate would read Lysol.
Who'd have thought that it took 20 years for all that mess to hit the fan?
Yeah. It was a work in progress. I think it'd be deserved so that we could use. Yeah. I'm going to say this with a very, very small grain, tiny grain of salt, that we could use a very cold winter in a lot of places. That might help things in a sense when it comes to what we're trying to navigate with coronavirus and everything else.
I would say so too. You know, I mean, I do know. Though we also understand too, a lot of times it seems like those cold winters where it drives everyone indoors. Yeah, I know, it also seems to make a flu season higher. And remember that's the flu season coming up as well. And you know, it's funny. Nobody ever feared the flu.
Yeah. Since 1921.
I was going to say, nobody, people would go to work with the first symptoms of flu and try to make it through the day.
Yeah, they
I'm
would.
Sorry, you know, that's it's the same thing that's going right now. So the next time, if you're afraid of what's going on right now and you have a stuffy nose, stay home.
Yeah.
Don't be.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly what you're getting after. Because it's the idea. Kowalski comes in with the TPS reports. Here you go. I'm not feeling too good, Hank. I might call it a day. Well, we need you. We got the McHenderson account in the afternoon.
Just can you make it till 4?
Can you at least stay after lunch for a couple hours?
Or you know, hey, I need to call out sick, but we need you. Yeah. Yep. No, don't employers have been good to employees with all of this. I'm going to hope that they will continue with that. Just going forward, but. And don't send your kid to school if they're sick. Do not Tylenol them up. The regulation, and this is something my daughter teaches, and I've heard it from others. Yeah. How many parents go, well, I got to go to work, so I'm just going to throw some more. The kid went home from school at 10 with a fever. Well, you're supposed to be out of school for, 24 full hours without a fever? Yeah. Don't just dose the kid with the Tylenol and send them back.
Yeah.
Please. Just because we need to get... past all of this. It might just be a cold. It could be they're getting teeth in. You know, I mean, even elementary age kids are getting molars in. They can run a temp.
That's right.
Stay home.
That's right. And that's the way to be responsible.
Right.
We do got a caller. Good morning. You're in the garden with Carol Ann.
Get us back on track.
Yeah. Hey, Hugh. How's it going, partner?
Hello, guys. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
See, I went to fill up the car with gas yesterday, and son of a gun, that Mr. Lovebug is buzzing. I don't know, for some reason those love bugs like gas, and that's where you notice them first. So they're on their way. So we'll be living with love bugs for the next 3 or 4 weeks or whatever.
That's early.
He said.
It's a twice a year occurrence that we have to live with in Florida. Thank God it isn't for 12 months.
Right.
But, I cut out a newspaper article years back, and I was looking at it before. The article says that the love bug was first noticed in Marion County around 1964, and I guess it migrated from the south to the north, and it's still going north. But how far up, I don't know. But it's like I always say, thank God it's only twice a year, because if it was a steady all year round thing, I don't know. I don't think the population would be nowhere near to what it is now.
We would have engineered.
I was going to say,
we'd
we'd have come up with something to get rid of them by that point. But I think if it was a year-round pest, it would probably be more like the mosquito, where you're not swarmed by them. I mean, because their life cycle is as it is a twice a year, the twice a year generations, that's why you see so many of them at once. My understanding is you get up in like Newfoundland and places like that where you get these biting flies, and even Alaska, they're only there for that short period of time where they hatch, they breed, they gotta, do their blood meal and lay their eggs, and then they die, only to come back the following year. But you have swarms during those times. Yeah. And that's our love bugs. Except they don't bite.
They're tough. They like gas, and they like white.
They like white.
They do.
Yeah, they like white. And my front door and around the window net is white. And I go spray what the insect, mosquito spray. Mm-hmm. But son of a gun, it doesn't seem to bother them. They're tough, or it'll knock out a mosquito or anything else. But the love bug, you can saturate the area with the spray, and I don't know. I don't know what it just doesn't bother them.
Well, I think a lot of times those flying insect sprays really are more of a contact spray. I don't know, and I was just trying to think of something. There's a couple of different things that you could, possibly put, that would attract them further away from the house. Somebody says, get the white, like, dishpan bowl or something like that, put water in it, put a few drops of dish soap and set it out. It may attract them there where they will land, and they will. Yeah. The dish soap removes the surface tension of the water, so if they land on it, they drown. Yeah. They can't land on it. They will sink instead. So it might be that kind of thing, is trying to come up with a bowl set further away from the home, for a little further away from the door kind of thing. I know I had a white car, and we went camping down in Melbourne area, closer to Sebastian, and sitting underneath the dining canopy at the picnic table and looking over at the car going, oh my God, it just covered. And then looked at the top of it, was one of the green dining canopies, before the Easy Up came out to be. It was more like just a tarp and 5 poles. But on top of that canopy, not underneath, not where we were, they were covered in it. It was like, oh, that is weird. Yeah. Now, there are certain colors they were really attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah. According to Matt, who comes on after your show, you can tell the cars that are traveling the highways when they come in from the forest and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in a parking, they're just terribly covered with them. And he one of his hints was WD-40 sprayed in the front, and that they're easily removed, and they can't do any harm to the car. But I guess if you don't wash those things off, they'll eat to your paint.
They do have there's something about their body composition chemically that damages your paint job, damages that clear coat across that paint, and it pits through that. So I know what I've always heard was the dryer sheet. And you could probably just save your dryer sheets, and because there's always some, if you really, you feel that little bit of slickery in there, or you could probably even use like hair conditioner, because what that does is it makes fibers all go in the same direction. Yeah. And it leaves a little bit of a film. You do want to rinse it well, just so that you don't have it cook onto the front of your car. But see, that's where I would worry about the WD-40. Have you ever gotten the grease that builds up on your pans? Yeah. It's this, to me, the same kind of thing. So, just try to wash them off.
Thank God they don't bite or sting.
That's true. It's just that they, get in your face, and if you happen to ride a motorcycle without a face shield on it, you're wearing quite a few of them, and there actually is or in previous years, there have been charity runs where they will put a target. You wear a target on a motorcycle, and you're riding through areas that have love bugs.
Closest to the center.
Yeah, closest to the center. How many that you get squished, and this and that, and so they call it love bug run.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yes.
Well, in the insect world, it's probably the only ones that I'm aware of that stay attached. And then they probably lay their eggs attached, and they just live their little life together. And it's really weird when you think about it.
Well, there is another insect that I know you see very often. Attached mating, as when you see them, if they're not attached, it's they're pretty close. Is that is one of the the two-stripe walking stick, which is AKA the spit devil.
Okay.
Is the female is much larger than the male, and the male piggybacks on her, and they are in the process of everything. But don't mess with them too much, because they do spit. It's a self-defense thing, and if it gets on your skin, yes, it stings.
Oh, wow.
It's not a permanent. It's not going to actually leave a burn or anything, but it sure feels like it.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and life in Florida here is always exciting, and I had my excitement the other day. In my screen enclosure by the pool, I had left one of the doors open a little bit for the dogs, and son of a gun, if a hummingbird didn't get in there. So how are we going to get a hummingbird out?
Wow.
Because they're just buzzing. They move around like a big fly,
Right, and of course, because it's bright, they're trying.
I opened up both of the doors full, and I got this little net thing that I used to clean the pool out with, and I was finally able to get it to get in there and rest, and then walk to the door. And after a couple of tries, because it would fly away, finally got it to fly away, and it flew away. But my God,
wow.
it was
that's a tough
good hour
one.
to get that little hummingbird out of there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's like the crazy. I get dragonflies in my store that fly straight up to the white roof.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, dummy, you come down a little bit, you can get out of here. But that won't work.
Yeah. Well, every day it's these little challenges in Florida, and right now we got the Love Bug Challenge coming up. So okay. Anyway, it was nice talking.
Nice talking to you too.
Let's pray for people in Texas. It doesn't look good. I think that thing's going to get very close to a 4, the way the Weather Channel's talking. So our prayers are with them, and let's hope it somehow can die out or whatever, and that we escape those kind of storms through this season.
Yeah,
exactly.
Let's hope everybody is safe, and we'll find out about it.
Well, thanks for the call, Hugh. Appreciate it, partner.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yep. One of those things too is like with the love bugs. I thought I heard somewhere somebody say that. So like on the turnpike, like when you stop at the plaza, that's like Florida's one of the first that actually have where you can pull your car up and it automatically sprays your windshield.
Oh yes,
because there's with the love bugs, it's certain season.
Yeah.
Which is so cool, by the way.
And unfortunately, some people's windshield washer pumps don't work, or they've run out of juice in there.
And you're
at the mercy of the
Crap Creek.
Yeah. Mercy of the love bug and every other bug that
bug that comes along.
Yeah.
Yep. As we're making our way already to the bottom of the 9 o'clock hour, stay tuned. When we come back, we're gonna have more with In the Garden with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener. We got some other stuff to talk about when we come back. We'll have some fun. Stay tuned. More Amo Ocala Live back after this.
News. I'm Chris Foster. The first night of the Republican National Convention has a keynote speech from the party's only black senator.
Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina said Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden led the charge on a crime bill in 1994 that put many black Americans behind bars.
President Trump's criminal justice reform law fixed many of the disparities Biden created.
The president made appearances at the White House with former hostages and frontline workers.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. There's rain along the Gulf Coast from what was Tropical Storm Marco. What is now Hurricane Laura is on track next to make landfall tomorrow night into Thursday.
Significant impacts are expected from southeast Texas into southwest Louisiana. Life-threatening storm surge, hurricane-force winds, heavy rainfall, inland flooding, and tornadoes will be a danger.
Fox meteorologist Janice Dean. America's listening to Fox News.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Oh, hey, Grandpa.
Oh, hey, Grandpa. Hey, Grandpa.
Yes, buddy?
Can you take me fishing this weekend?
I'd love to.
Have you noticed a change in your hearing over the years? Missing the little things in life? Visit Beneficial Hearing in Ocala today. Their expert team of audiologists will make sure you never miss a moment. Call Beneficial Hearing today at 352-629-4418 or visit them online, beneficialhearing.com.
Cloudy skies, humid, thunderstorm, breezy today. The high 91 to 95. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 76 to 79. Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms. The high both days 90 to 94. Clouds on Friday, humid, thunderstorm in the afternoon. The high Friday 91 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
WOCA. Ocala.
Why call Two Men in a Truck? If you're like most people, you're moving and you work hard. You call 352-289-0666. You need pros, trained, professional moving experts to do the heavy lifting for you. You call 352-289-0666. People who care about your things as much as you do. Time is of the essence, and you want it done fast and right. That's why you call Two Men in a Truck, the movers who care. Visit twomeninatruck.com today and get moving. So call 352-289-0666.
Two Men in a Truck.
Hey, everybody's looking for BOGOs these days, and guess what? Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens has some great BOGOs this week. That's buy one, get one free. For example, how about a fruit sale? Blueberries, guava, chestnut, mulberry, peach, apple, pear, cherry, and much more, starting at just $9.99. Plus, you buy one and you get one free. Bob has 1 gallon sun and shade-loving budded camellias, regularly $29.99 for just $19.99. Citrus trees are just $59.99, and you get a bag of fertilizer free. And don't forget crepe myrtles, new low price of $2.99 for the smaller ones. Hurry, come on by in the morning. Enjoy a walk through this gorgeous 5-acre garden. It's Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street, Ocala, daily till 4:30 in the same blooming place since 1952.
The Centers and Beacon Point in Marion County provide treatment medication therapy for opium addiction, life skills, case management, and access to resources. Call 352-291-5555.
When it really counts, depend on The Source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Cloudy skies, humid, thunderstorm, breezy today. The high 91 to 95. Clear to partly cloudy tonight, low 76 to 79. Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny, scattered thunderstorms. The high both days 90 to 94. Clouds on Friday, humid, thunderstorm in the afternoon. The high Friday 91 to 93. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Steve Williams.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Listening to Ocala Live, 96.3 FM, 13. 1370 AM, broadcasting to you live from the Paddock Mall. We are streaming live, YouTube Live, WOCA, The Source Radio. And remember, if you do like our bits with Tuesdays in the Garden with Carol Ann, be sure and smash the like button as well as subscribe to keep you up to date on all the segments that we have from In the Garden and Sunrise Automotive and all that good stuff. As we are now 9:36, we welcome you back to the show as we were discussing before the break. A little bit of yesterday's topic with the genetically engineered vasectomied male mosquitoes, and also talking a little bit about weather, of course, too. We were discussing maybe a little bit of an idea that it might be a tough winter.
An interesting winter upcoming.
We'll see.
We really, though they've made such great improvements in weather forecasting, it's still not a whole lot better.
Yeah.
That, it's always one of those things. It might rain or it might not.
Yeah.
It might get this, it might get that. We get the temperatures pretty good, but you know what? It's August. It's Florida. It's going to be 90 to 94 degrees. There's a 50-50 chance of rain somewhere in the viewing area. And, it might come from the west. Or it could be coming in from the east.
That's right.
For us here in the middle, it could be at the I-4 corridor, or it could be east of 95, or it might be west of I-75.
Yep.
That's the weather forecast from July through the 1st of September, and we mix in there every so often some of these hurricanes and tropical stuff. And I know there's another one that it's still, I guess, on the continent of Africa, coming off that that they're going. Guess what? We're really coming into a very active hurricane season, and if we are coming into a possibility of a cold winter this year, it's a good time to think about what are you going to do in the landscape, in your preparations, in what you might have. And go, do we have, and people say, are sheets just as good as frost blanket? Yeah, they can be. Because it's just what you're doing is keeping frost from laying or settling on that plant. When we have a breezy night, frost doesn't settle.
Nope.
The temperatures might get down, but you can have frost at higher temperatures than you have freeze.
Yeah,
people don't always realize that. Put the bottle of water in the freezer for a little bit, but only long enough. Don't let it freeze.
Yes.
Take it out, crack that bottle in, have a slushy.
We call that super cooled water droplets. In the world of aviation, we look at where freezing levels are based on altitude, that if there's visible moisture, you could be encountering what we call structural icing.
Right.
And that's either clear ice, rime, or mixed.
Yeah.
But the thing about it is when that can occur. So we say in Celsius, mind you, because that's what we use a lot, is +2 degrees Celsius to -10 degrees Celsius. Now, obviously, water freezes at 0.
Right.
But they're saying that a little bit above that, you can get these super cool water droplets.
Right.
So like you said, getting it out of the freezer, just where it's super chilled, that you crack the top, you can actually start pouring it. As it's liquid, it'll freeze as it becomes active, as it's at that temperature. So that's always a fascinating thing.
It's always kind of fun to do. And actually, if you were to do it with, I thought somebody on Facebook had it, and they had put food color into me. If you're going to do that, put flavor in too. Put the Kool-Aid packet in there. Why not? That when it comes out, you've got the frozen ice coming out of the.
Cherry slushy, super cool. Thanks, Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, that's it.
Now fix the wall that you just crashed through.
Just busted through. My insurance ain't going to cover that.
Exactly. Then again, I might be able to blame that on a hurricane.
It's not an act of God. But no, when you're thinking about it, but any time you're back to
it's a good Tuesday, folks. So thank you for listening.
Hey, makes your day go through a little happier, a little something to laugh at. Other than hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, give us a call. We can do it for you. But no, when you're thinking about what you're going to be doing this coming season, we are here pushing the end of August, first part of September. Your last lawn fertilization is coming up here in September. Try to space that. Pay attention to the weather. I mean, we talk a lot of weather, but it really is something that needs to be paid attention to when you are taking care of your landscape. We don't want it to rain.
Yeah.
Within 24 or 48 hours of our fertilization. We want to control that water that we put on.
Here's another question I was talking to somebody about the other day is whether or not to, when it comes to laying the fertilizer, to cut the lawn or leave it, fertilize it, and then wait a few days and then go back and mow.
If it's a regular just fertilizer, if it's just a feeding, a turf feeding, turf fertilizer, I don't think that matters.
Okay.
It's when you're looking to put a weed and feed down then read the directions, because most of the time they will tell you it's usually like 3 days or 3 days, so it's either mow the grass and wait 3 days or put it down and then wait 3 days. So that but you don't ever want to bag up those clippings after using a weed and feed to use elsewhere or anything. Let them sit, because that's also putting that weed protection that you just paid a lot of money for and that fertilizer back down there on the ground, so it's continuing to work. Normally here, we do sell winterizer fertilizers. I really don't know if there's a whole lot of difference in them.
Really?
And in all honesty, I've not really seen it. Might be a little bit on
I was going to say, is that one of those marketing things just to get you to buy a little something?
I believe much of it is marketing.
And what you're saying is you'll help the person out if they ask for it, but deep down you're like...
I mean, I can possibly go, you can do this, you can do this. That, what did we do before they invented winterizers? It may be the slow release. You waited for spring, But putting one of those fertilizer down here, say the middle of September, usually our rainy season has started to abate at that point.
Right.
So we are controlling the water a little more unless we continue to have a very active storm season. And then pay attention, tune in the Weather Channel, take a look and see what they're saying, put it, try to get it down with a couple of days to where you're controlling the water. It gives a chance for that turf to take up the food you gave it and not wash it past it. It's sort of like going, here's your pizza, and I got the plate on a string. And as you pick up the first piece and take a bite and put it down, somebody pulls it. And now you got it, you're reaching for it, and you're reaching for it. Next thing you know, you can't reach it. Same thing.
I've seen that Stooges episode. It's a good one.
But doing that, get any last pruning in the landscape done early, so that any new growth that does come on, because we don't stop really growing until we have that first cold snap, which for us can happen. Normally it's sometime after or around the 15th of November. I've seen frost as early as Halloween, or within that week. So we don't really know. So we'll try to get the pruning done, that last stuff that maybe to trim it up for once it's gone dormant, you're kind of okay on doing some of that, but you don't want it putting on new growth as we're coming into that cold season. You want that new growth to harden off a bit, so it'll be so it won't burn as easily.
I've got a funny little story when it comes to frost. I remember when I was a kid. I don't know why certain things stand out in your mind when you look back at memories. It's just the way it is. And there's so many things that stand out. And I think a lot of it gets drawn up in my memory because a lot of growing up and what we discuss here on the show.
Right.
My dad and my aunt and the way my dad grew up and everything, it's just like your background, with the garden and gardening when we were growing up and helping him in there, pull weeds, snap beans, all this kind of stuff. What was funny, because in the conversation of what you just mentioned with frost, right? And in Florida, we could have it sometimes as early as Thanksgiving and sometimes not until it's
not
finally
until
Christmas,
December, December or so. And we've had those horrible years where we've had ice in Ocala that you can't leave.
That you can't leave. And it's funny because back up in Ohio, I remember I was maybe 9 or 10, and I think we were just rototilling the garden. It was after the season and out there with the rototiller and stuff. I always thought that was the coolest little machine.
Dig the dirt.
And something got brought up. I had heard my dad having a conversation with somebody about frost, right? And I'd asked him, I said, well, Dad, when is the first frost? He looked at me and he goes, now, if I knew that, we'd be rich.
Yeah.
And it was just funny because in that moment, it stuck just how crazy and different is. As a kid, understanding that, like, wow, that first frost was such a big deal, even for us. I mean, it was something we paid attention to, as I did for weather when I was a kid. That I just remember having that conversation with my dad, and he's like, man, if I knew that, because I just remember asking him,
if I knew that, I'd be a rich man.
Oh,
yeah, same
man.
thing, yeah. But that's that whole thing, and of course we many times have always said, that the citrus don't sweeten up until we've had that first cold snap, and it more than likely that's a timing thing, more than
it is the logic of the science of that happening,
right?
The
of that temperature, exactly. Same thing with your collards and your mustard greens and stuff like that. The cooler weather, well, I think some of that is probably a little more true,
right?
Because those seem to get bitter because they're going to try to bolt in the warmer season.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's folks who manage to grow that stuff year round, pretty successfully. But for most, it's considered a cooler season crop, and so it's sweeter when it's cooler.
Right.
Because
based on the timing of
when it is. And I think that it slows some of the growth rate. So the sugars. The carbohydrates that are produced change a little bit when you're going from the cooler season to the warm season. And hey guys, but that way, we're looking at it on that side of it, on the cooler weather. So, the flavors, the textures, the temperatures, all go hand in hand, but we don't really know how.
And then it's like that too with the misconception of some people, the deciduous forest. So when the leaves turn, it's like, it's been really hot. Like it's in September, it's really been hot, and it's like that's why the leaves aren't changing. It's like no, it's not. The sun hasn't hit the spot where it needs to for the actual trees to know when it's time to start browning and losing them.
And it's actually a reaction. My understanding, it's a reaction to stresses. Is that actual change of the color of the leaves. I mean, we don't have a lot of trees here in Central Florida that change color, but there's some. There are some here in Central Florida, native trees that do change color, and others that we've brought in. Some of them, it takes a while for us to create that stress.
Right.
Or to have that stress for them to change.
Yep.
And so we don't always see a real good one. But if we have that early cold, end of October, first 2 weeks of November.
It gets below 70 in the morning.
It's
cold. I get you, girl.
50 degrees overnight, and getting up and having to put a jacket on.
People from up north are like, what
the heck
cold?
are you talking about?
I'll
when I break out the jeans because it's only going to 75.
You got my clubman jacket? It's just a little bit nippy out there. This is cold.
Those of us who live here know it's cold.
We do have a caller. Thanks for waiting there, partner, as we were telling some jokes there. I think it's sunny. Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, Jim.
There is a certain amount of energy in a water molecule that has to be added to or subtracted from in order for it to change state. You have to. It will not instantaneously freeze at the freezing point. You have to subtract the energy of the chemical bond to have it complete the change of state from liquid to solid. And you have to add to the energy of the chemical bond to make it change state from the solid back to the liquid, and from the liquid into the vapor. That requires added energy. It doesn't just instantaneously boil.
No.
It has to go a certain time at that temperature to complete this change of state.
Right. So and that's probably that action of that cold as you open it and
then the bubbles coming out.
Make that the energy in there, because that's what it is. You slam it, then it starts.
Right, it starts to do. And then when we put the pot of water, the room temperature water on the stove, add BTUs from it, and as that begins to warm, it moves in there, so an energy change.
Yep.
Until you get the little bubbles that begin to rise, and then larger bubbles. And
I love it. I love that kind of stuff.
Kind of cool.
Appreciate the call, partner.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, thanks. Yeah, and we get our science lesson.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
and it's always it's always something unique, and that water is the one thing that expands.
When freezing.
Isn't that incredible?
It is. It's one of those things.
The laws of the universe.
Yeah,
man.
you
It's
don't
awesome.
fill that ice tray all the way to the top.
That's
because you'll never get them to crack apart.
For all those listeners
still
out there
have
that
ice
left
cube
that,
trays.
I was going to say for all those listeners that had that beer, I'm going to cool it down in the freezer real quick.
Just don't
there's
leave
glass
it, Mark. Just don't
everywhere.
leave it. Yeah, don't leave it too long. Yeah, don't forget your beer in the freezer.
Awesome. As we're coming up on 9 minutes before the top of the 10 o'clock hour, we're still in the garden with Carol Ann, as we are giving away Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens $20 gift certificates. I'm giving away 2 of them right now. Cool. If you want to call the station here on the main line, 732-8000. Tish will take your call. We are giving away 2 $20 gift certificates to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, the same blooming place since 1952, right here in Ocala, as might help you out for what you got going on and what you're planning for the fall, for what you can do to. I think one of the big things we mentioned last week was now's a good time to think about how you want to kind of reassemble everything, because we know in the afternoons you get all that rain and it kind of washes things and you pull weeds and you're like, when it cools down, it's a nice time to lay that pine straw again and make everything look real nice
and neat. And of course we're coming up into, I know it's only August, we're coming up into fall. Great winter plants for us are the camellias and Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens and Nursery. That's the place to go and really look if you're looking for something other than what you find in the big box stores, especially because the ones in the big box stores, though nice, they are more of the common and they're small. Mm-hmm. Bob Wines is going to give you a variety of sizes, to choose from, and that kind of thing, and be able to help you find one that's going to fit your spot, because they are also of different size. Same thing with the crepe myrtles. I'm not sure if the crepe myrtles are still on sale. They could be. I might be. Don't yell at me if I'm wrong.
We'll find out on Thursday. When we talk to Laurie Williams.
But I mean, this is the time of year I know that they begin to clear out some of their summer bloomers, and I mean, it's not a bad time to get them in the ground. And get them started, getting established, getting their root system set up to where that in spring, boom, up they come up and start blooming and all good stuff.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, and that's also too a nice little afternoon for what you want to get. Who you can talk to over there at Bob Wine's at the same time. Just be able to walk the gardens.
Be able to, especially
such
if maybe,
a different shopping experience than a big box store.
It is, most definitely, because you are outdoors. You do have those huge established trees that are there, and the camellias that are in the ground there, and you can actually see the plant. In growing.
Isn't it that different? And not to take away, because I know your job has that stuff too. But isn't it different when you're walking around within the trees and everything else that they have and the way they have it set up there, that when you see what they have even for sale, like in a row,
the smaller,
it just feels different, because you're surrounded by some of the other plants and everything.
You kind of feel like you're at like a garden show kind of thing. Because we have, we in previous year been blessed with having like the Micanopy sale and the Macintosh sales and the Master Gardener festivals and stuff, where they're all out of doors and everybody brings their wares in, and this is you're going someone that the wares are already there, and they have the old, greenhouse there, and that kind of stuff, and just walking through. And
you got me thinking. Just again, we missed the events this year, as you just were bringing up. It made me think, that was some of the stuff that's very simple and easy to look forward to walk around and do those kinds of things. That's something that we didn't have this year, obviously. And it was right around the time with the, was it the Spring Festival,
the
Master Gardener
Festival, and I hate to say it, but they canceled the 2021.
Oh, did they?
And only because of everything going on. They don't want, they don't want people to put down their deposits. And then have to refund their money, or that they have made arrangements to make sure that they have plenty of material in stock, and then not be able to have that good sale and be able to sell their wares.
And you brought it up. That's just one of those things, and it made me think. August. I'm thinking it was it this time down in the other county for the Blueberry Festival, or it might have been sooner.
Blueberry festivals would have been May or June usually, but we're coming up into some of of the early fall festivals that were just that, fall festivals, fall plant sales, things like that through either Marion County's extension offices, but the other ones. And right now, and I may have to find out about it, but even in December, we always had the poinsettia trials up at Gainesville at the University of Florida, and I'm wondering if those might be able to happen only for the sake because they can possibly space it out,
which may be one of the things. So I think that's one of the things to look forward to. I know you mentioned it's not 2021, but just some of the things that we can get back to a little bit. One of my big things that and especially with doing radio now, I would have had the opportunity to be behind the scenes a little bit more for my aviation community. There was Sun and Fun that was canceled this past summer or spring, and it's stuff like that those are the sacrifices we made to deal with this and get through this, and the garden shows and everything else you think about.
But I see the Spirit Store is getting ready to that they're going to be opening back up. So we have Halloween coming.
That's right.
And and that is a holiday that we can kind of distance socially.
Yes.
Because you can have neighborhood get-togethers where the kids can still go door to door or driveway to driveway.
Right.
And we can have decorations and things like that to enjoy. And I think even with Christmas, even if you don't have those big parties this year, you can still have some great get-togethers in smaller amounts.
Exactly.
Or the what do they do with the adults? It's the trick or treat ones where it's you go for the knock and the shot of vodka or something like that. I don't know, but I don't have that many neighbors. I don't have that many neighbors, but I've heard some great stories on those. So it's like, hey, invite me next time.
I like that. A Halloween trick or treat pub crawl, door to door.
Door to door. The neighborhood stuff.
Oh man.
Help out the neighbors.
How many houses did you get to this year?
About
to
3.
the end of the block. I'm hammered.
That's
Oh, that's awesome, girl. I love it.
And the kids pull the wagon back and you're sitting in it.
Don't worry, they got their candy. They're content.
They're good.
Oh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. But like you said, something to look forward to. And one of the things we look forward to, which I hope that they're doing it, is over in Denellen, is I know they do the pick and patch where you get the opportunity to pick your own pumpkins. And the fall opportunities of hay bales and all that you get with the kids and the sunflowers. And that's something that we had done consecutively. We didn't get a chance to do it last year with just the timing and everything, but boy, I tell you, that is something we are so looking forward to this year. And I hope there's a way that they do it.
Hopefully that community events can start to see that we're having that downturn, and I do pray that with the children going back to school that we don't see a sudden uptick.
Right.
But even then, if you think about that, if in 2 weeks it meant your kid was sick right now.
Yeah.
So think about it that way.
Think about it that way.
Think about it that way.
Yep.
That if there's suddenly in 2 weeks we have a problem, look back 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And were they truly well then?
Exactly.
And not just, hey, get them out of here and get them to school.
Exactly. As we're making our way to the top of the 10 o'clock hour now, that'll be wrapping up our this Tuesday, August 25th, in the garden with Carol Ann. Had fun. Carol, I appreciate it.
Everybody have a great day.
As we do, and we should see, like we said, less of a percentage chance of afternoon thunderstorms, but stay cool out there. Stay hydrated. Heat index valued over 106. Ay, Dios mío. Muy caliente. Hace calor. Mucho calor.
Yeah.
More Ocala Live coming your way back after this.